one other question that we had discussed about, which I think is really worth talking about, is the debt limit, and and that's a question that that I wanted to ask, because it looks more and more like this debt limit thing is getting very serious. And I know this is something you brought up, and you talked about Democrat big spenders and everything, when most of the debt accumulated under Republicans. It was raised 3 times under the Trump administration. No one ever complained. And so I just, again, holding the full faith and credit of the United States hostage for money you've already spent is like, going on a credit card binge and then bouncing the payment check. All that gets affected is your credit. You're not going to affect anything. Now, should there be really a serious conversation about spending? Yes. But what are your thoughts? Do you really think that we should hold the full faith and credit of the U.S. hostage?
Well, there are 24 Republican senators who signed a letter saying that they will not sign off on the debt limit unless the president agrees to some cuts and a serious conversation about how to cut the spending. So the truth of the matter is, yes, under the Trump White House, there was some immediate spending under the beginning of COVID, but that was nothing compared to, you're talking about 4 times as much by Joe Biden. So I found it actually quite rich that now Senator Joe Manchin is saying we need to get serious about the debt, when he was the one who betrayed the conservatives who he had been speaking with, and went and signed off on these multi-trillion-dollar packages. So I don't. When you're talking about holding the full faith and credit of the United States hostage, as far as I'm concerned, Joe Biden's already done that. He's accumulated $4 trillion in debt. He is holding my future hostage. He's holding the future of our children hostage. It's already there. So, and I don't think it's something to laugh about.
No,
Dave. I don't know why you're laughing.
I'm laughing.
$4 trillion. I don't think the debt to GDP level that we have now is higher than it's ever been since World War II. And that's not something to laugh about. That's actually a really serious thing. And all I heard last night in the State of the Union was that Joe Biden said it's not enough. It's not enough. I need to have a ridiculous level of spending for student loan forgiveness when there's nothing in his program that would actually stop inflation in the university system. All it does is encourage the universities to jack the tuition up even more. There's no accountability on it. He wants to spend billions of dollars on student loans. And then he also brought up that he wants to spend even more on healthcare spending, when the fact of the matter is that 1 out of every 3 roughly Americans right now is on Medicaid. Medicaid is supposed to be for the poor. If you're talking about a third of the country, that's not the most needy. So he wants to spend even more money for poor, like middle class to upper middle class families, and all of these extended unemployment benefits. A family of 4 in some areas here in the country can earn $90,000.
May I respond?
You're unsustainable.
You're getting into the weeds here. So the reason I was laughing is because of the hypocrisy. Where were you when the debt limit was raised 3 times during the Trump administration? And let's have some facts here. Fact: more than 1/4 of our national debt was assimilated under Donald Trump. And it wasn't just COVID, it was that budget-busting tax cut. George W. Bush inherited a surplus, remember? That was squandered. President Obama, his first term was the slowest increase in government spending since Eisenhower. So up until now, all right, it's been the Republicans that have caused far more of our debt. And I just think it's very hypocritical. And that's why I was laughing. You're all serious about this now, but I didn't hear you complaining when it was raised during the Trump administration. It's only when there's a Democrat in charge, all of a sudden this becomes to be a serious problem. I mean, can't you at least see how the American people could think that? Because nothing was said during the worst fiscal profligacy in history, which happened during the Trump administration.
Dave,
is that hypocritical or not?
I have the tape, literally, of myself asking.
Maybe you, but the Republican Party.
Why are they doing this?
Where was the Republican Party?
The Treasury official, Monica Crowley, was the Treasury spokeswoman. I said, Monica, why are you spending this much money? I was hosting a show. I literally said these same things.
You did.
Dave.
Okay, maybe you did. We didn't know each other back then, but I'm just saying it's the Republican Party. Okay, maybe you were one in very few. But can you see how that comes across as so hypocritical to the American people?
You are right that many people are very cynical. Yes, I
No,
agree
no,
with
not
that.
many people are very cynical, but it's hypocrisy when you are responsible for 2/3 or 3/4 of the debt and you don't do anything. Democrats are happy to pass the debt ceiling. And by the way, those 24 senators, you'd asked why aren't more senators on board? Why isn't Mitch McConnell on board? Maybe they realize that this is not the way you get it done. That you don't jeopardize the full faith and credit of the United States based on something that's already been spent, that you sit down and have a conversation. So I'm hoping at least the president and Speaker McCarthy are engaging. And I really hope that they will come up with something. I think I am all for an agreement to look at spending, but you don't do that, okay, with the full faith and credit of the United States. And I still haven't gotten an acknowledgement from you on the hypocrisy of the Republican Party, because this is a problem that was created mostly by the Republican Party, but the Democrats, maybe they were soft.